I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
I don't blame Brie Larsson for Nissan's financial troubles. I think it is. Was it razor fist? You go broke, then you go woke, and then you croak. And it's explaining the real phenomenon, not all companies, but the real phenomenon where your company was already going broke. And as a last desperate attempt to get down with the kids, y'all, you go woke because that's what the kids are saying, especially those kids who don't buy Bud Light or Procter and Gamble or whatever it is product you're selling. And then you croak because you just lose the money. I mean, like Playboy was like that, Sports Illustrated. How many times have they been bankrupt, right? You if you're dumb like me when I was young, you thought, like, well, it went bankrupt, so the company goes away. No, there's going to be some loser douche canoe private equity group or investment group that buys the brand and thinks they're going to turn Playboy or Sports Illustrated around. And you did see that with Playboy. Remember, they put a dude. It was a dude. They put an ugly dude with them little tufty puffs of hair on his chest. And yeah, it didn't work out well. And then Playboy, I guess now is back. Well, hey, you know what we should do? Put on hot chicks. Oh, wasn't Victoria's Secret? If I go to Victoria's Secrets now, should we do our monthly check-in on Victoria's Secrets? See if there's like ugly, mutilated, fat women as your lingerie. Should we do that? Let's do that. It's about that time. Victoria's Secret website. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, there's a bunch of pop-ups. I don't. Jesus. I have to allow them. No, I'm not. I'm not going through and checking. Here's another thing for you assholes. I'm not going through and checking. You should have a reject all button for cookies right up front. Fuck you, Victoria's Secrets. God Christ. Just get your data. Just get your data. It kind of relates to what I'm talking about here, where you corpos are headed up by the dumbest fucking short-sighted people. And I think Nissan was already in some kind of trouble. And what was it? When was Brie Larsson the most pretentious and I'm going to mouth off to the white males and be political? When was that like 2021, 2020? When was it that she knew it all? When was it we're going to have the girl boss of girl bossiest movies, Miss Marvel? When was that? It was several years ago. And so what happened is some idiot at Nissan said, man, we need a Hail Mary. How are we going to get more sales? What are we going to do? And they said, well, let's go and contact the experts, the consultants in the United States. How do we sell to the young people, yo? How we get down with the people, yo? And then the McKinsey needle dick consultant said, yo, everything's like black and Hispanic and lesbian, but really the woman, in fact, women are like this superhuman creature race. They're so much better. They're fabulous. And then the Nissan guy says, well, I got to trust this guy with the feather boa. He must know everything. He's down with the kids, yo. And then Nissan kind of made Brie Larsson their spokes entity. And she was in all these commercials, and she was Brie Larson, and she was the newest, coolest things, according to the idiot consultants. This is bothering me. Hang on. I'm not centered. Well, come on. There we go. Not to be ADHD. And we didn't know it, right? We all think, well, Nissan, they're a Japanese company. They must know what they're doing. Japanese auto manufacturers, like, they're all good. And one time they were. And then this came out later. Nissan's financial collapse is worse than anyone expected, and the fallout isn't over. This is from April 24th. Troubled Japanese automaker has taken a hit from efforts to restructure as part of a turnaround plan. How are your finances looking? Living on the overdraft? Couple of grand underwater on the credit card? It could be worse. You could be Nissan, which is about to announce a disastrous set of financial results that include a record net loss of around $5 billion for the fiscal year end March. Now, I'm not saying that it was the only problem, but maybe having the most smug, pretentious, liberal, white, mouthy chicky babe as your spokesperson a couple years ago did nothing to help this situation. It's just me. Nissan won't release the full earnings report until May 13th, but has already confessed that it expects the books to show a net loss of about $5 billion. $5 billion. $5 billion. I have a question. If I were to be, I was an analyst at one time. If I were to go to Nissan, right? Let me tell you how you become a good economist or a good analyst, just anyone good at finance. You go in there and say, fuck your goddamn feelings. What's happening here? That's it. You just follow the money. If I went in there and said, this is your problem, this is your problem, this is your problem, would it have turned around? Would that have been better? What did you pay Brie Larson? Hang on, let's look that up. What did Brie Larson make? Brie Larson paid how much Nissan? I'm wondering if I would have turned around. Brie Larson, not publicly available. Sign multi-year partnership. 2020. Here we go. Glendale Nissan, Glendale, Arizona, Illinois. Oh, here's all your pop-ups. We want you to do this. Wow. Multi-year partnership with actress Brie Larson. Recently launched this new campaign, 2021. Okay, I have a question. It's been 3.5 years, 4 years. It's called 4 years. You said multi-year contract. Where's the rest of the commercials? What happened, Nissan? You know what? You got everything right, except she is a woman of not color. You needed a woman of color. You needed a loud sound. Why didn't you get Lizzo? Get that, wide camera angle, of course. Although in her defense, she's lost weight. Have you seen that? You gotta salute her on that. That gal's lost weight. I think she woke the fuck up. Good for her. So did you not get your results? Did year one go by like, oh, the most blandest person ever with a mouth? Predicted it would lose a way more modest. Having previously predicted it would lose a way more modest, if not exactly confidence-inspiring, $560 million. So your losses were 10 times what you thought it would be. This would mark the biggest loss in the company's history. The automaker blames the big dive into the red on impairment charges, which is accounting speak for the reduction in the value of an asset on the company's books. Oh, that's right. Me and Chad got to talk about impairment charges. It has logged $3.5 billion of charges for North America, Latin America, Europe, and Japan, and says there's a $420 million to add as a result of further restructuring costs. So impairment. So what physical assets were impaired, or were they intangible assets? Just so you know, an impairment is like, we thought these assets were worth this much. It turns out we put Kathleen Kennedy in charge, and now our copyright to Star Wars is worth a lot less because she shat all over it. That's what an impairment charge is, or mark to market. Nissan is undergoing massive restructuring changes to keep an effort to keep itself afloat after a $60 billion merger talks with Honda broke down. Though negotiations seemed to go well initially, they stalled in February, sources close to the manufacturer subsequently revealing that Nissan had come to the table thinking it would be an equal partner and balked when it realized Nissan or Honda wanted to make Nissan a subsidiary. That's like the fat chick saying, I'm in charge of this. Nissan has already announced 9,000 job losses, plant closures, and streamlined model lineups in an effort to save more than 2.5 billion and is actively looking for a new partner. I got quite why have you thought about putting a blonde is all right, girl is all right, but with big tits and like I love men. Have you thought about having that? Because wasn't the commercials like I'm a bitch spot and I do my thing and look out, you should have about it. Women in the driving seat now, motherfucker. Wasn't it something like that, right? Right? Because the women were going to go all line up and buy Nissans. They weren't going to go buy Range Rovers and Escalades and status things, right? We all know women are sensible financially and they buy, you know, good, frugal, like, oh, that's a sensible car. That would improve my long-term finances and lower my operating costs on a per mile basis. I'm going to get a Japanese car. Yes, that makes perfect sense. We know they're all like that, right? Taiwanese tech giant Foxconn has expressed interest in working with Nissan, but said it would rather team with the Japanese company than buy into it. Although the merger talks with Honda and Mitsubishi collapsed, the three companies said they'll continue to collaborate on electrification and software development as part of a broader effort to stay competitive in the EV race, particularly against Chinese rivals. There you go. Hang on, if I look up Brie Larsson, Nissan commercial, and I click on the news, am I going to see what you loves massaging seats? Receiving a ton of backlash. That's what I thought. God, what a boring looking woman. I mean, she's not ugly, but it's just like Grok. Pay me the average looking white girl. There you go. Here's Brie Larson. Refused to compromise. 3,000 dislikes and a little over 300 likes. The comments aren't yet disabled. The captain. It's great to partner with Nissan in this inspiring campaign. It's not inspiring. Stop. Look, you can toe the line when Nissan tells you, but you go off script when you're working for Disney, which is essentially about advocating for yourself and believing that you deserve a seat at the table. It's a powerful message in a bottle that I'm so proud to be part of. Right now, I know this is boring. Right now, there's a tremendous marketing opportunity. Say a good product at a fair price. And if it happens to be for guys, and here's a hot chick with big tits standing next to Thing. I'm like, I know the hot chick with big tits doesn't come with Thing, but I want to buy Thing now. It's a good product at a fair price, and they made it fun. We're not here to ban. Yes, we know. You could view the commercial, some backlash. Just like that, I'm no longer considering Nissan for my next car. Get woke, go broke. Pushing an agenda to sell a car. I think it's stupid. Nissan for 13 years. I'm driving one now. Will be my last. Sick of the feminist drivel question. Well, what was so I remember it being, is Larsson got 2 S's? I better change that. What makes Nissan executives think that Brie Larson is the best choice in a commercial to sell their products is the same as with Gillette for me. Yeah, I mean, at one time, it's like, we'll sell this to men and women, and maybe we sell to a family, and we'll tailor some things to women, and we'll tailor some things to men. But the selling point won't be that it is anti-female, right? If you sell something to men, you're not going to get them on like, it's anti-female. Look at these bitches over here. Fuck them. Just as the same as what you actually do. Like, fuck those guys over there. Fuck them. Oh, you're a girl boss. You're like, all right? Patriarchy, right, girlfriend? How do you Now I have to sell my Nissan. Thanks, Brie, you blank face plank of wood. Now I got advertisements for Victoria's Secrets all over, and it's all brown lingerie on brown women who are unimpressive. That's what it is. Brown lingerie on brown women. I'm not saying you can't have good looking lingerie on a brown gal. It's just not brown on brown. There's got to be a color contrast. I Wow, I'm not there. It's all over. It's just okay. I got to turn this off. This is a hideous. I'm sick and tired of looking at ugly women. Anyway, so yeah, there's your financial troubles. And I know apparently in Japan it's a thing too. I know you corporations are headed up by people who have had their politics or have been trained to believe that their politics are more important than profits. They're more important than the customer. Your job should be pretty boring. It should be a good product at a fair price. I know this is boring. I know this is sad. All right. Even though it was Procter and Gamble, Old Spice, I don't buy Old Spice anymore. Um, if you could be clever, like the actor, forget his name, ladies. I'm on a horse, dude. Fucking funny. A lot of guys know that guy. I think he was He was an athlete. Women like the guy. It was charming. So you played to both, and you use sex appeal for it because the girl's like, "Ooh, I'll buy my husband that." We can't have that anymore, huh? No, we can't have that anymore. And I don't know, instead of spending money on Brie Larson's fee, could you increase quality control and not make everything a nag mobile? Could we do without the subscription services? When I go to your website, Glendale, Illinois, Nissan, oh no, Victoria's Secret, can you just not do the cookie thing? And if you do the cookie thing, say opt out of all cookies. Can you just provide me? I don't want to go in. Hey, do you put a hurdle? Like, I got a question. Yes, you, sir, in the back. At the actual physical Victoria's Secret store, I don't even know if they have those anymore. There's the main door. Do you put a hurdle, like a legit track hurdle in front of it that people got to climb over in order to get into your office? Because that's what having the cookie preferences. No, I got to go in and select them all. That's what that's like. Why don't you, no joke, or have a dorm in there, like a bouncer? And like, if I want to go into you, I got to pay $5 to get in. I got to pay this inconvenience fee. I don't care. It's you people that are going to suffer. You're the ones losing money. You're the ones you just want to keep screwing over your customer, making the experience with you a painful pain in the ass instead of just, dude. So I'll give you an example, different. So I think he's a Middle Eastern guy. He's something. He wasn't born here. He's got an accent. This guy runs a shoe shop, running shoe shop. And I was going all treks, and then their products went to shit because they got bought out by North Face. Like, oh yeah, okay, you were a great running shoe, and then you got bought out by North Face, and now it's gone to shit. So I went to the guy and I said, I am willing to spend great money on a running shoe, like trail running shoe that lasts me 500 miles. He's like, I am sorry, my friend. They do not make those anymore. I say, what do you got? Like, what's the best long-term running shoe for trails? And he says, this is what I use. And so he got me signed up. But boom, done. Customer service. There wasn't a hurdle to get into his thing. There wasn't a what was it? A plain face, bland plank of wood telling me I'm oppressing her. Sir, how can I want that? Well, they don't make that in. I'm sorry, sir. Ah, shit. What do you got? I got this. You want to try it? Yeah, right away, sir. Customer for life. You know why? Because he wasn't sticking his dick in my ass every 5 seconds. Oh, yeah, son, you got, oh, would you like to join our club? There was no club. There was no subscription fee. It was, I'm here for shoes. What do you got? This is what I got. Bam, let's go. And then it was done. And then we were able to, do you know what a joy that was to not be fucked in the ass? Like, or have a mosquito bite? You know what joy that was? All right. I just want to point out, Nissan, I'm sorry your Brie Larsson thing didn't work. Oh my God. Let's go to super chats. The Plains Warrior, $2. Hot girls in bikini leaning on a hood. I know. Like, dude. So Harley, it's the same thing. If I go look for a Harley ad right now, how much you want to bet? It's just like a Harley on a road with a mountain backdrop, right? How about it's pretty, but it ain't. Do you remember the 70s and the 80s, even the 90s? There'd be the Harley Davidson girl bikini thing. You know, they don't have some girls posing in a leather skirt, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It may not compel me to buy a Harley, but it would keep my eye on it. And you're like, yeah, they know guys. They want me to be at minimum. Harley wants me to have a good experience looking at their advertisement, right? Advertising sucks. I don't want to be pestered with commercials, but okay, that's easy on the eyes. That makes it an enjoyable, or humor, right? The I'm on a horse guy. At least it's entertaining. You're so fucking lazy, corporate America. You can't do either. You can't come up with the creativity to make it fucking funny or entertain. Like, I like Allstate, and I really should have gone with them, I guess, because I like chaos or mayhem. Mayhem, the actor plays mayhem. Or Flow, Progressive. That's fucking funny. How long has Flow been going on? That's been like 15 years. But those are the exceptions, not the rule. And I would pay just for guys, girls probably say this fights back at the patriarchy and kills 48% of white men if you buy this product. Like, oh, good. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. This imports a lot of criminals so you can have sex with them later. Oh, weird fight. It doesn't do the product, what the product's supposed to do. It could be, I don't know, a pancake flipper. Like, this is the white man killing criminal letting in pancake flipper. Oh my God. When's the last time a Harley Davidson is priced reasonably at this with a 5-year warranty? It gets so many miles per gallon with the acceleration that you need to pass it, and a little sporty for the curves. Come down and test drive one day. He'd be like, oh, it's that price and it has these features? I think I will go down. When's the last time, even if it's boring, it's not entertaining, when's the last time you saw kind of the key information I need put up front that I don't have to go search for it on the internet, and a cute set of tits with it? I don't know. I mean, if I was, I was poor in the 90s and a kid in the 80s, I didn't have the money. I wasn't in the market for these things, but I'd imagine, like, go back then. I'm wondering if they would have been giving me that information. Like, oh, yeah, because I remember starting at da-da-da-da-da, and then there'd usually be a cute girl or something on it. Oh, hang on. Kajemushanjuro. $2. I do Brie Larsson. I think angry females are cute. There's an element of like, yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't think I could. It's just like, dude, I want her to be into it, right? I don't think Brie Larson isn't into anything fun. Not with that face. I mean, the queen of permanent resting bitch face right there. I'd be looking at her like, you're not going to enjoy anything. I want the girl who's like smiling and like, hi. I'm like, hi. Your smile tells me everything I want to know. Saco, $5. Grande tetas, caliente chicas, hot girls, huge wet spot on the floor. I'd buy that mop. A little crass, but it would sell better. Ass bucket, $2. Thank the EU for the cookie prompt nonsense. Can we just be the United States and say, no, we're not doing that? Like, I mean, really, can we just throw our weight around like Trump is doing? Like, now we're putting tariffs on everything, and fuck you, we're still the largest economy in the world. Ass bucket, $2. Skechers going private. Watch them turn to junk now. Oh, who did they get bought up by? Look this up. Skechers going private. Popped up. 3G Capital. Oh, what's 3G Capital? $3G Capital. All the advertisements are 3G Capital. I don't want news. 3G Capital. Let me go over here. Global firm and private is a global investment firm and private partnership built on an owner-operator approach to investing in long-term horizon. 2004, a bunch of douchebags got together. Evolved from an investment office of Jorge Paulo Lemon. Alex Bering, co-founder, co-managing. Has the key leadership roles. New York. Fuck off. No. Yeah, let me guess, we're going to cut costs, bro. And then the soles are going to fall off because you saved yourself a nickel and glue per shoe. No joke. That's what happened to Ultra. All right, there you go. I can't wait for the next Brie Larsson movie to come out. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.